Alright, what I'm doing here is I'm just gluing two scrap pieces of leather together. Once I get the damn glue tube to work right. They're just scrap pieces of leather. The edges aren't square. It And for this project, it doesn't matter that they're not. If you don't have any leather and you want to make one of these, you can use an old pair of blue jeans, pair of corduroys that you've got some extra material from, something like that. You just want something thick and durable that'll take some abuse, but it'll make sense here in a second. So what I'm doing is I'm just putting a bead of tacky glue down on one side, and I'm leaving one corner unglued so that I can get the filler in. I just mashing the two together, and see here, you can see the edges of the leather don't match up. Doesn't matter. I'll trim those later after it's all glued up. Using my favorite leather tool here, some binder clips to clamp it all together. Tacky glue sets up pretty quick in general. I think I left these like 20 minutes, half an hour. It's not completely dry at that point, but it will hold it together while you kind of work with it, put in the stitching holes, that kind of thing. Just going around the edge, trying to line it up pretty close to where I put the glue bead as I go around the perimeter here. And once again, not once again, but if you don't have a bunch of binder clips, you can just put something heavy on it. It doesn't, stack up a couple of boards, or put a board bigger than the leather, and throw some clamps on top of it just to add weight, dumbbell, whatever. You don't have to stress on this one. This is one of the most basic leather projects you could come up with. And I leave that corner undone. Doesn't need a clamp because it doesn't have any glue. So here I'm just pulling the clamps off of it, and you'll see in a second I didn't even film the part where I lined up the edges. Yeah, you can see the corners still open. You can get in there to put filler in it. I just use a straight edge. If you would look at this thing close up, it's not a perfect square, and once again, doesn't matter. Doesn't need to be. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I'm just squaring up the edges so they are even, but they're not quote-unquote square. Doesn't matter. So see, I've got it cut up. Now I'm putting some marking lines so I can keep the stitches reasonably straight. But once again, it won't even matter on this type of a project. I just scribe the line on the four sides, get out my little cutting board here, and start hammering in some stitching holes. Nothing fancy. Try to keep them as straight as I can, but once again, this project's pretty basic. Here I am just stitching it up. I've got my stitching pony laying on its side on the workbench. Just normally, I know you're supposed to kind of sit on it with your legs draped over it to hold it in place, but in this case I laid it on its side so that I could get a nice close-up camera angle. I'm just doing a basic saddle stitch, nothing fancy, using some John James needles, and that's Ritza tiger thread. Now here I'm using Crossman Copperhead BBs as the fill. If you've got something different you want to use, you can. I use these because it's nice and comfortable to use, and it adds a fair amount of weight to it. And after I stitch it up, now I've got a nice comfy wrist rest for my mouse. I've got several of these. I use them, hold down instructions, hold a book propped open, keep my blueprint from moving around. I've got 3 or 4 of them. I'll stack on another piece of leather when I'm cutting it, and I don't want it to scoot around on my cutting board. Thanks. Please like and subscribe. Catch you later.